In this video, what we have is our stage 2 testing, and we're going to be actually doing a stage 2 testing on a PC that originally failed its stage 1 testing, but we're not quite sure why in this case. So we're going to test out the parts and see what parts actually work and what parts we can salvage. What we have here is our sort of static and stationary, what we call dummy PC. So this is a PC that actually we know works, but it doesn't really have any parts to it. So what we're going to do is we can add up the memories and see if the memory from the failed stage 1 testing PC would actually work when it's plugged into here, which tells us that the issue as to why the reason this guy didn't turn on in the first place wasn't the memory, for example. So we can salvage that memory and use it later on to upgrade another system. So procedure is fairly simple. Again, if you want to figure out, the steps on how to open up these PCs as well as how to take off a RAM, you can look at another video that we have for dismantling. It's all the same. So in this case, we've kind of removed the RAM from the PC that originally failed stage 1 testing. You want to kind of make sure you always have your little ESD wristband here, because once you start dealing with very sensitive parts like memories, you don't want to damage them. So in this case, all we're going to simply do is plug in the well, we don't need to remove the RAM here, because if this is damaged, essentially the thought process here is that if I also want to make sure you put this right way. The thought process here is that if that memory is damaged, because it's a damaged memory, even though we have a good working memory, it shouldn't even start up. If it is a working memory, then you should automatically see your RAM go up. Your count of RAM should go up automatically, and you should have more capacity. So in this case, we've got our RAM in here ready to go. All we need to do at this point in time is basically power on our little PC. So in this case, as of now, it's all powered on. So we're just going to wait for the PC to do its thing so we can get a signal, or not, depending on exactly what the situation of that memory is. It's either going to boot up the PC or it's not going to let it boot up. In this case, we can obviously see that because that memory was damaged, which is why it initially failed stage 1 testing with this PC, it's not letting our perfectly fine demo computer, our dummy computer, turn on here as well, which tells us, hey, there's something wrong with that memory. Because we've tried it on 2 different PCs now, and it's obviously not letting the PC boot up.
At this stage, we can consider that memory to be a failed memory, and it'll go into the failed memory bin, and we'll get rid of it, and it will eventually be recycled.
Yeah.
And at this stage, we will try the 2 other parts explained. So the next will be either a CPU or a GPU. GPU is optional. Some computers don't have a dedicated GPU, so in this case, we don't even have a dedicated GPU. The only thing left to test out will be the CPU, which the thought process will be identical to what we did with the memory, and how to actually remove it and replace it. You can refer to the dismantling video and take it from there. And that concludes our stage 2 testing for a PC computer.